abusua ni kuma o channel so ha a gate politics avenue political source penny me with me highlights ena wonu ya jemre na idibi aksumbo ni dim ya hobraksi mu yembo imra eye court na lawyer for chairman Wontumi lawyer Samuel Atachi or in simbi akodan court na yasum bia yem pese unhu de ekọ ene de eba ni nyina de se ye trial na ebekoso the final trial ebekoso 3rd July apay ede adisredie ninsa buninsa yem pa aye court chewse enke ebeya akomu entu encheda arint because was if we saw obeso asem ni mu no enkrata hodo bi a esenka ninsa aye court proceedings from the one up to tama omu edi ejina so se omu edi bibu asem ninsa intumi enka na ese ninsa itumi eka from the court registrar ho na utimi ehu kwan a obefa so a obehye asem no ase na wohu baby a ode ewokwa goduro na eno ena ye project eye flyer no ede ato screen so ede ama wo say lawyer Samuel Atachia representing Chairman Wontumi has requested the High Court to defer its judgment in the Sema Boy trial, citing the court registrar failure to provide him with a full record of proceedings. The request aimed to move the judgment date beyond the scheduled July 23, 2026 deadline. And the Emma squad in Yabre. You want to buy time? Yeah, you court.
Excelled in the procedural dimensions, that's regular elections, peaceful transfers of power, and adherence to constitutional norms. It struggles with the substantive democracy which demands structural transformation in governance, economic equity, and institutional innovation. Still waters. Ghana must never allow MPP into power again, should they fail to bring Oforiatta to stand trial. What an insult and disrespect to the nation. MPP never again. There's also this one from Jojo in Tafa. The president, from all indications, is willing to correct all the wrongs, but not willing to deal with the very people who caused the wrongs. The very day he said the wheel of justice moves slowly was when my disappointment began. I will not be surprised that, okay, that one is before the courts. Can the president and Citing know that the NDC through the grassroots is very shaky? They should sit and watch the party for. That's Jojo in Taifa who sent that. Then this one says, Ken Oforiatta being granted permanent residency in the United States of America simply means that our avalanche quest to actually extradite him to Ghanaian jurisdiction for interrogation and investigation purposes is going to be very cumbersome, looking at the most top-notch lawyers he hired in the U.S. to defend him in a court of law. Special prosecutor should be entirely blamed for his dereliction of duties, for not promptly initiating extradition processes in bringing back Ken Oforiatta, who allegedly siphoned some humongous public funds while in government and now refusing to account for his stewardship. That's Ernest Everlove. Thank you for that. And of course, I'll read some more as we go along. Yes, sir.
Topic that we can never be tired of, contrary to the view of my brother Mujib that he's tired. You cannot be tired when you are chasing a witch or wizard. You must be prepared to go the full hog. Ken Oforiatta and his lawyers have decided to take all of us on a roller coaster. I mean, sometimes there's a guy that sang a song and said, "Kill me shy." When I hear Frank Davis and I hear Minka Primo, I'm shy of them, that they are even able to issue statements. I mean, they must respect themselves at a point. The press release from Minka Primo was read by Hamza. I wondered what really pushed the firm to do what they did. What were they trying to prove? What were they trying to communicate? That the court in the US was able to come to a determination that the criminal charges here was that frivolous, and was it the reason why Ken was granted the green card? I mean, sometimes they must give us some levels of respect and intelligence and stop what they are doing. Because what they are doing is annoying a lot of people. You understand? And no wonder Minka Premo is somewhat being investigated on the PDSA. Is it to suggest that he, in some way, the coming back of Ken Oforiatta also has an issue or exposes him in another direction. Remember, one of the issues that Ken has been accused of is also the PDS. Let's get that straight. Right from the beginning, we were told that Ken was going for a medical checkup. Is that not the case? At the point, they surfaced with a fake document from Mayo Clinic suggesting that it was a prostate cancer that they were treating. And if that was the case, you and I know that a lot of men in this country are suffering from prostate cancer. So it's not something that you need to be in the US to be dealt with. La Paz Community Hospital, they can easily deal with prostate cancer. So then they're right there, they are exposed. But you see, this letter even emanated when Ken Ofori-Atta had been invited by the special prosecutor to appear before him on the 10th of February. That was when all the lies started. To the extent that we had the current minority leader, Afenyo Marcus, go to parliament and tell all of us, the entire country, that by May, soon, Ken Ofori-Atta will be in Ghana. May of 2025. We are in June, a year after that, and our brother Kwame Marcus has not seen the need to even come and apologize to the people of this country that maybe he was misled by Ken Ofori-Atta. We lived with it. Then we had the first letter coming from Minka Premu, also telling us how Ken was that ill or sick and was treating himself, and that they were ready and prepared to meet the OSP and provide every available document or information that they may need. When the going got tough, we had a group of people who claimed to be family members of Ken Ofori-Atta, faceless people, issue statement and tell us that Ken was their family member and that he was going to come. When we pressed for the head of that family's name, they ran away. And then the wife had to intervene and said that now she's in charge. The wife also assured us that Ken will ultimately come along the way. Since then, we have not heard from anybody. Then it came to light that, contrary to the view that some of us, their lawyers had made us to believe, Frank Davis and co had made us to believe, that the man was that sick and was at Mayo Clinic, not knowing he was chilling in an apartment in Washington. So I picked him up from the Washington apartment, and do you believe for a moment that when he was picked up, if he was that ill or sick, they would have thrown him into detention? No! They saw him fit. So they sent him to detention at the Caroline Detention Center. So issues started emerging. That was when we were told that he had applied to adjust his residence status, meaning that the true intention of why he left the country was not the so-called medical attention he was seeking, but rather to adjust or get a green card or an American passport. That was it. And lo and behold, now that he has been granted green card, we are told by the same lawyers that he was granted a green card because of what he's going through in this country. Along the line, I also came here. I remember I came here and then discussed one of the lawyers that he took. You know, this case is revealing a lot of things. And he had Kasimi. He himself was a problem back in Afghanistan. So when you have characters like this defending Ken, you must understand that the issues in there are that weighty, and that the man has made it a point that he will not come back to Ghana. But you see, whether or not he will come, I believe that he must reconsider his decision, because at a point he will come. Strangely, somewhat, he will come to this country. And this is how, or this is where, those who are emotional human beings in this country, that when matters happen and time elapses more, then they begin to play the emotional keyboard, we would play back some of the things. Because you see, why? President Akufo-Addo told us that he came in to protect the public purse. Were you not told that?
Yes.
And that not under his watch that people make money of government or the public institutions. Now, whom did President Akufo-Addo give the purse to? Whom did he give them? So now we are doing this banter. In fact, as early as 2018, when the government was barely a year old in office, he singled out Ken Ofori-Atta that he is a national asset. Nobody had told President Kufuor to name anybody who was a national asset in his government. He willingly came to tell us that Ken Ofori-Atta was a national asset. So now, national asset, please, wherever you are, come and let's ask you simple questions. You say no. Kill me shy. But it's history that is repeating itself. Remember, his father has been the finance minister before. The same period that President Kufuor's father was a ceremonial president of this country. Go and check why Busia was overthrown. They run down this country, and this country, we don't take history lessons serious. And you brought the kids. When they did that, they got away with it. So what would the kids do? Anytime you tell them that, look, the man is running away from justice, oh no, he will come. He has done nothing wrong. Yes, on the face of it, a person is innocent until what? Proven guilty. So what is preventing him from coming? One Victor Salome was that sick. I mean, I like people like that. He was not extradited to this country. He came. He failed the law. At the end of the day, he was on the wrong footing of the law, and he served his sentence. Ultimately, he died. Mr. Pepra, Kwame Pepra. But you see, Ken's own role and what is happening now, we as a country are part of what has happened. In fact, you must blame the parliament of this country. Because before Ken was nominated by President Kufuor, we knew of Obotan in 1998 to 2000. What he had done to Senate. So how come at the vetting, nobody raised that issue to prevent him from becoming our finance minister? So when he got away with it, he realized that this country is only mouth, all talk, no action.
And even cooked certificates.
Cooked certificate, the man had F in economics at the level, he said yacht. He was a national asset. What are we talking about? So this administration, I believe now they have filed the extradition with the U.S. attorney, what's the name? The U.S. state, yes. So that one is there. There is a case at the court. I believe that it has to go on. But you see, the reason why some of us still believe that he has to be here is that as part of the trial, we may discover a lot of things, that it will blow your mind. And for me, nobody must be talking about trial in absentia. Either than that, in the case. So you see, before the coming of Sedna Tamaklo, a lot of people, my brothers from the MPP, including the sisters, what they were comforting themselves with was the fact that, why are you not bringing Sedna Tamaklo? To the extent that Frank Davis was even saying that. That criminal fugitive is that, why are you bringing it? So thankfully, Sedna, so we have crossed that part. The road is not clear. Why are they not making the same noise and say that Ken come so that you are not, nobody is saying you are guilty? And indeed, when it comes to this country and he's not guilty, some of us will not allow that something that he has not done, you will push it onto him. But today you are struggling for the US passport, tomorrow Grenadian passport, the next the Egyptian passport. What sort of life is this?
That in itself is incarceration.
That's the point.
You are punishing yourself before the state gets involved.
But I want to admonish all those that are called kind of Ofori-Atta to begin to distance yourself now. Let's see you. Else tomorrow, the name Ofori-Atta may have issues in holding positions in this country if you keep quiet. I'll end my submission here.
Thank you very much. Yeah, a couple of comments to go through. This is Rayan Shabat, who says, Mujib has made my day with his submission on Ken. Chulo Suale Abdul Razak says, when Ken runs to the sea will be boiling. And runs to the rocks, the rock will be melting. Still Waters, the governed Ghana with impunity, but now he's resisting accountability. May Ghana not forgive these nation destroyers. Senator OSP is a member of Ken Ofori-Atta's cartel, yet Mahama refused to kick him out of office. So let's blame Mahama for the mess That's Israel Bina who sent that. There's also this one says, and I think the moribund and discredited MPP led by Bawumia has shot themselves in the foot by defending notorious Ken Ofori-Atta. The economic genocide visited on us by Ken Ofori-Atta is so unpardonable that the MPP should forget about the 2028 general elections, especially when Bawumia is their flag bearer. Charles Echampon said that from Bibiani and Riaso Bekwai municipality. Thank you for that. And before we go to Mr. Pratt, two things, just one matter. Today I've forgotten to remind you that you can get Nkrumah's books. Now every country is built on certain aspirations, and our aspirations are determined by our founding fathers. You know how proudly the Americans talk about their founding fathers. We rarely talk about ours because of our politics. But this is the Osajifo Dr. Kwame Nkrumah. We are one of the few countries whose founder has found time to write many books talking about the things that he went through and the things that he believed Ghana should be. One of them is this one, where he authors an autobiography, Ghana, the autobiography of Kwame Nkrumah. And in this book, he talks about his time from the struggles all the way to independence. So the thoughts that occurred, the things that he had to go through. Then this week, we had African leaders and leaders from all across the country in Ghana in pursuit of our reparation agenda. This is Africa Must Unite. The Osajifo Dr. Kwame Nkrumah. The idea is from him originally. This is his idea. The idea of Africa uniting, working together, is the idea of Osajifo Dr. Kwame Nkrumah. He explains in this book exactly why he believes that should be the case. You can find all this. In fact, he has about 13 books. You can find all of them at Freedom Bookshop. 16 Laiamomo Close, Asylum Down. It's near the Apollo Theatre. Circle. You can call the number 0246 708898. 0246 708898. Get these books and read for yourself. Mr. Pratt?
This is a very simple matter, and I don't see why there's so much heat around such a very simple.
I'm not reading all, but let me add this from the preamble. It says, the principle that all powers of government spring from the sovereign will of the people, the principle of universal adult suffrage, and the rule of law, the protection and preservation of fundamental human rights and freedoms, unity, stability for our nation, do hereby adopt, enact, and give to ourselves this constitution. So even if you look at the preamble of the 1992 constitution, it gives us the aspirations that the Supreme Court made references to in Tufoy and AG, and our quest for better and fuller lives. And for me, when I heard the discussions surrounding the proposals for amendments of the 1992 Constitution, I was excited. I did not just see it as a political talk, especially when His Excellency President Mahama was in opposition. I knew that it was also a commitment on the part of President Mahama and the NDC government as far as the fundamental principles of our 1992 Constitution is concerned. Because, one, we have all complained, either on live TV or radio discussions or in our rooms, about the presidential term limits. And we have made calls for us to review it. Because this was what was handed to us by our colonial masters. We learned it from our colonial masters. They adopted it at a time that their development trajectory was progressing. Unfortunately, we adopted it at a time that we were still trying to find ourselves out of the woods. And if you look at even transitions alone, the number of months we lose at the back of transitions, I think that the calls are justified in a way. Because mind you, sometimes it takes a new president in excess of 6-7 months, or sometimes even close to a year, to form his government. Then you are left with about 3 years. If you are not fortunate, like in the case of the NDC.
We ain't some of it me course or channel so mammy and I was so dim. That's an as what in the